Welcome to Lesson 2, Object-Oriented Programming Polymorphism. The word polymorphism means many forms. As an example of what polymorphism is, let's consider a shape class hierarchy briefly. In a shape class hierarchy, you might have classes like lines, rectangles, and ovals. Now, with polymorphism, what we try to do is write programs that focus on the common aspects of all the types in a hierarchy rather than the type-specific details. So the fact that lines, rectangles, and ovals are all shapes, and perhaps all shapes should be able to draw themselves, is what we would focus on in a polymorphic drawing program. So we'd build a class hierarchy in which all shapes have the ability to draw themselves. And then what we would typically do in an application is maintain something like a collection or array of shapes in which we have lots of different lines, rectangles, and ovals referenced by that array. We can then loop through the array, and rather than worrying about what each specific type of object is, we can say each object in that array is a shape, therefore it knows how to draw itself on the screen, so draw it. That's as opposed to the older switch or if-else style of logic where we would say, if we happen to be looking at a line, then draw a line. If we happen to be looking at an oval, then draw an oval, and the same thing for a rectangle as well. So we're going to focus on the common aspects of the classes in our class hierarchies. Now, in order to perform polymorphic behavior, we're going to show you how to override methods in a class hierarchy, which means that each class in the hierarchy has a method that starts with the same first line, but has a different body based on which class it's for and what needs to be done for an object of that class. We're also going to talk about a new concept called abstract classes and distinguish between abstract and concrete classes. All of the classes we've looked at so far were concrete classes that we could use to create objects in our programs. Abstract classes are used primarily for inheritance in order to aggregate key concepts that are common to a bunch of different classes in a class hierarchy. And they're also used to force other classes in a class hierarchy to implement certain methods that we want to require for every class in the hierarchy. We're going to talk about abstract methods as well. Those are the types of methods that you can use to force subclasses to implement methods in their definitions. An abstract method is basically the first line of a method definition with no body because we don't really have enough information yet to figure out how to fully implement the method. We're going to take a look at how polymorphism can make systems extensible as well. Once you have the framework in place to polymorphically process a hierarchy, all you really need to do to extend your system is add a new class to the hierarchy and then add new objects of that class into your system. The hierarchy, or the polymorphic processing rather, already knows how to handle anything that's part of that class hierarchy that you designed. We're going to take a look at an object's capability for determining its type at execution time. This is an interesting aspect of Java in that all objects know their own type. And finally, we're going to talk about a construct called an interface, which is similar to an abstract class, but it's not allowed to have implementation details. We won't be able to define things like instance variables and method bodies in an interface. However, we will be able to use interfaces to affect polymorphism in the same way we are able to use classes or abstract classes. And towards the end of this lesson, we'll talk about some of the benefits and disadvantages of both abstract classes and interfaces as well.
Looking to advance your career by acquiring new skills? Tired of expensive off-site training programs? Wish you could learn from the best instructors in the industry? Look no further than live lessons. Self-paced, personal video instruction by the world's leading technology publishers. Each live lesson comes with a DVD featuring 3 to 4 hours of instructor-led classroom training, sample program code that allows you to work along with your personal instructor, and an example-rich study guide. Live lessons allow you to watch the entire course from start to finish, or navigate directly to any of the individual lessons. You'll literally watch over the shoulder of your instructor as he shows you how to build state-of-the-art applications. Live lessons, the power of the world's leading technology experts at your fingertips. To learn more, visit mylivelessons.com today.